latest signing, which stirred a few things in the group chat, and obviously Christian, you online. I'm looking forward to your opinion and if it's changed ever so much. But Anthony Elanga, £15 million from Manchester United, 21 years old, so doesn't need to be registered, can play probably in any of the 4 positions within the forward line. Lee, does this represent a good bit of business for you?
I certainly think the pros outweigh the cons, is what I would say. Interestingly, I think in the half an hour he played last night, we probably saw what we're going to have to get used to a little bit in the short term, in the sense that he's absolutely rapid, but he's got to work on the end product. I think when a player's that quick, and he's 21, you kind of wonder why a club the size of Man United's letting him go at this stage on a permanent deal. And I think we probably saw in little flashes last night. Again, it's not me calling him for it, because I'm sure with regular game time, these things will improve. But the chance where he was slipped through by Scarpa, and I think if that's someone like Johnson or maybe even Awoniyi, he kind of controls that or takes it in his stride and gets a shot away at goal. It's just little things like that I think Cooper will need to polish. But I think looking at the bigger picture, 15 million. I've read today that the other 5 million will only be paid to Man United if we qualify for Europe. So let's scrap that for a couple of years. So yeah, I like I say, the pros outweigh the cons for me. 21, he doesn't need to be registered. He's a good age, played for a big club. Let's see how he'll do under regular game time. I guess for now, the jury will remain out to see. Like I say, there's going to be something that we're going to have to be patient with. Otherwise, Man United wouldn't have sold him to us, would they, at this stage of his career?
Definitely. Christian, you were, to say the least, against the transfer in our group chat, and you've been verbal about it on social media. What were your reasons for that? Obviously, if people don't know you through Twitter or obviously can't see what we've said in our group, but what made you against the transfer, and has your opinion changed at all?
It's sort of touching upon what Lee just said there about his end product. I mean, I fail to see how an attacking player, an international as well, no less, can play in a team that scored 103 goals last season in all competitions and failed to find the net once, which there's no way of dressing it up. It's really poor. He played 26 times last year if United didn't score. And that's awful. Awful. There's no other way around it, really. But, I mean, I just felt like he's been dining off that goal against Atletico Madrid for quite some time, I feel. Obviously, it was very... I mean, you can tell how United are in the negotiations, as we've said. Like, look how difficult they were with Ghana before eventually selling him very late in August. Look how difficult they're being now with Henderson. Even now with us, they're still dragging on. Obviously, we just reading an update there from Taylor about how it's about the obligation of how many games now, which apparently we want 30, United want it to be 3 or 4. And then look how quickly the Elanga deal was pushed through. It's sort of like, okay, that sort of says that you're very done with him and don't really see much else use. But I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, he's only 21. That is the positive. Obviously, he doesn't have to be registered. There's a lot of time for him to develop that end product, which the worry is for me is that because the margins are so fine with Forest and where we're likely to be for most of the season, we think back to when we had like Chelsea last season at home and we drew 1-1, and we were all furious at Johnson for not cutting the ball over to Taiwo when he had ample opportunity to do so. Elanga might just not even do that, just scoop it straight out of play. Like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, compared to Hudson-Odoi, I see why it makes sense from Forest's perspective. Obviously, I know the fee might be a bit less, but obviously we're weighing it up. Obviously, Elanga will be in a lot less than what Hudson-Odoi will be on if he goes to Fulham or Lazio. We'll see. I mean, obviously, Cooper can work with him, and I trust Cooper to get a tune out of most, if not all, players. Obviously, barring very few exceptions, such as he who shall not be named. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, in theory, it's a counter-attack of Elanga, Johnson, Gibbs-White, and Awoniyi. If the ball gets out to one of those 4, it's going to be like carnage for any defence. The teams will be very wary about like losing the ball in our half with that threat to come. But it's just a case of mining out. I mean, to be fair to Elanga, like, not that it means a lot in terms of what he translates to on the pitch, but he does seem genuinely very happy to be at Forest. He does seem like very excited to be part of the team, part of the setup. He seemed to fit the personal character of the player that we want to sign. And, you know, if you look at it, there's a lot of scope for him to grow in theory. You know, you just hope with more game time and some Cooper magic that he really can become a player that can be very, that like shot that left hand side for a good few years for Forest. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. Reese, have you got anything to add to it? Obviously, Christian kind of stole maybe a little bit of your thunder, because I was going to ask you about what you thought on his personality when you watched the kind of signing video, because he said the right things in terms, like, I mean, he mentioned the atmosphere, which he thought was phenomenal. I mean, that gets every sort of supporter on their side straight away. I think he could be a little bit of a gem if we can kind of find the key to unlock the door.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that video, and like you say, he was absolutely buzzing to be here. You know, you don't want players who are going to come to Forest who are doing you a favour. You know, we could have mentioned quite a few of them over the years, and some are still here, unfortunately, picking up big money, and it's burning a hole in his pocket. So, yeah, he probably wants to get his career going. He's obviously broke through at United. He's 21. United really they've got options ahead of him on that side. You know, Rashford plays off the left. Garnacho's gone ahead of him, breaking through the academy. Jadon Sancho can also play on that side. So he's down the pecking order at United. He's never going to get going, really, in my opinion, with dribs and drabs, 10 minutes here and there. I've said that about players we've had in the past who people expect to just come off the bench and within 5 minutes of being on, scored a hat-trick. It just doesn't work like that. So, to be honest, I hope he can get his career going with us. You know, and like Christian said there, Steve Cooper, you know, perfect coaches young players. So hopefully he can start getting the best out of him. Again, another point Christian mentioned about, you know, his pace. It goes back to I know with the previous regime, Siriano said he wanted to make us really athletic, didn't he? It fits that bill entirely. Obviously, as well, you're going to need end product as well on top of that. But yeah, if we're a counter-attacking team, which away from home we probably are going to be at a lot of places, these are the kind of type of players you need to get you up the pitch. So I'm happy with it. I've not watched him much at all. Like I say, it's just been dribs and drabs really for United. So I'm just kind of excited really to see him get a good run and see what Cooper can get out of him. But yeah, you know, like Lee said, there's a lot more pros and cons for me, and ticks so many boxes. Again, doesn't fill up a squad place as well. So yeah, I'm optimistic, but you know, as it is with any player, the proof will be in the pudding.